Hey, what's up, guys? I'm BKFC athlete Paige Sansair, and you're watching Cage Side with Christopher James.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get Sausage Biscuit. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Throw up the deuces. There you go, baby.
Hey kids, we're back. Welcome back to Cage Side, Christopher James, episode 281. We're here to party with you, have a good time tonight. Not going to get into a bunch of stuff I talked to you about earlier because I already did a whole show a little while ago. But we had to come back because I wanted to get this young man on. And, you know, he's got a fight coming up. His schedule is busy. He's training. So we're starting a little bit later than we had told you guys. My apologies. Shit happens. But anyway, just a couple of quick things to recap. Jacare Souza was not released. He just fulfilled his contract. They're not going to re-sign him. Alan Belcher is signed with BKFC, which I think is freaking awesome. He's going to come after the heavyweight championship. He's got a lot of fans, a lot of power, and a lot of juice. And, you know, the guys that are there right now better be ready because Belcher does nothing half-ass, and he does nothing to lose. So it's going to definitely be a lot of fun there at BKFC. BKFC 18 takes place June 26th in Miami, Florida. Venue to be announced. It looks like it's going to be the Hard Rock Casino, but that could change. So, but I'm just glad the event finally has a date here in Florida. They'll also be here the 23rd in Tampa. Big stuff coming with them. But right now we're going to talk to this young man who's got a fight coming up at UFC 263, which is Adesanya and Vettori 2 for Adesanya's middleweight championship. And this man, you know, he's a fight veteran. He's been around a minute. He knows the game. He's taking on a young prospect, Chase the Dream Hooper. So we're going to bring him in right now. The man himself, Steven Ocho Peterson. Welcome to the show, my friend.
What's up, Chris? Thanks for having me on today.
Oh, well, thanks for being on, man. I think the last time I had you on, I wasn't even doing it like with this big studio stuff. I think you had you on when I was just doing straight Facebook Live and, you know, just trying to make the best of it. This is so much nicer.
Yeah, it's getting better, man. Production is getting better.
Yeah. We're in the Apex.
Very nice.
Nice. Yep, the green screen fucking shit is dope, dude. I can take us to Fight Island. I can take us to my living room. It's fucking nuts. I love it. But so Chase Hooper, young studly prospect. We're just gonna jump right in with you. You know, normally I like to preface it, but let's just get right down to business because you've been training. I don't want to keep you too long. You probably want to go relax, take a shower, get some grub, and so we won't hold you too long. So you got Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper. I'm lucky to say that I've got to see this kid fight up close and personal with us at Island Fights in Pensacola and in Alabama. You know, when he first came over, I was like, man, I don't know what to expect from this kid, but this kid he doesn't look like much, man, but he's a tough son of a bitch. He's not afraid to get punched in the face. He's learning how to strike better. You know, he took his first L, so, you know, he's gone through that. You know, everybody's got to take an L at some point. And, you know, however you come back from that L, it pretty much is going to define how your career goes out. You have to get that first one. He came back strong. He looked good. He's confident. And for you, taking on this kid with your veteran status, what was your thoughts about getting booked in this fight? Is it, you know, something you want to do? You want to, you know, teach these youngins coming up that, you know, it ain't as easy? Or do you take it as an honor that they picked you to fight this kid to really see, you know, test his mettle or test your mettle against the evolution? Because some of these younger kids coming up are fucking beasts. And, you know, it's a weird situation. So give me your thoughts on the whole booking. You know, is it an honor or is it an insult to have to fight this kid?
Definitely not an insult, but I feel like he has exactly what I've been working for my whole career. You know, he's been fighting for 3 years and, you know, he's been managed very well. The kid's got skills. He's, you know, he's good on the ground. He's not very good on the feet, but he's awkward. And he's able to pull it out. He's got heart. He's tough. But he's been, you know, given one of those, been groomed on in his career to get such a record, to get to the UFC so early in his career. And he has a real big following, and he's actually making more money than me. And I've been fighting 4 times as long as him. So I feel like he has everything that I've been working for. And I feel like, this is an opportunity for me to show that I deserve it and for me to go out there and take what I deserve.
Yeah. And, before I even ask the question, because I don't normally have pre-planned questions. This one I did have pre-planned. And I had a feeling you were going to answer it just the way you did. You're coming off a very impressive win in your last fight against Martin Bravo. Man, that spinning back fist was fucking dope, bro. That's just, I love the, I wish we see more of them, but they are hard to land. It's not something that lands every time for every fighter. So the universe has to line up. And when the universe lines up, when somebody throws a pretty spinning back fist and it scores, man, those are the moments that sit in my head forever. I'll remember that. If I was like, when you did, I was like, you see that shit? I'm looking at my wife and poking her on the couch. I'm like, babe, look at this fucking shit. Because she watches fights when we want to watch. She gets lost in the phone. So I have to check her to make sure she's still watching. So you're coming off a big win, like I said, against, Martin with that big spinning fist knockout, back fist knockout. How'd that feel to fucking score that kind of fucking glorious, fucking woo?
Yeah, it was like, in that fight, my back was against the wall. I felt like I was robbed in the Caceres fight. I felt like I won that one clearly. And then they sent me to Mexico City to fight Martin Bravo, a Mexican in Mexico City. And it was like, man, I'm not going to get robbed again. I felt like, if I drop that one, that's good. And I could potentially get cut. So I was like, I'm going to show him how I come out when my back's against the wall. So I knew I couldn't go to decision. I knew, it didn't matter if I beat him up all 3 rounds, I could very well get robbed again. And then, what are they going to do? It's 2 losses in a row. It doesn't matter if you get robbed both times. It's still a loss. So I had to make sure that I finished him. So I thought that game plan really smart. I decided to push the pace in the first round, let him be overly aggressive, let him feel like he was able to take me down, hop right back up immediately, continue to stay in his face, and make him work. And then the second round, it was like I had felt him out. I had found his number, and I started throwing some real heat. And I was just barely short of some really hard right hands that I was throwing. And then and I landed some good shots as well. But then he started to tire and slow, and I saw that desperate spinning back fist that he threw. And he actually threw it right as I was stepping in with the jab. So it was like an oh shit moment for me. As soon as I stuck with that jab, I see him turning around. So my jab hand drops and I parry his spinning back fist. And I was just in position to throw my own. And it was like I had been there a million times. I was just in the flow state. There was no thinking about it. It was just a reaction. And I did it and it landed home. And it was like, man, that moment will live on forever.
Yeah, and over the course of your career, you've had knockouts, with punches and elbows and everything. But would you say that, because of the glorious nature of that and that nobody else, there's not a lot of guys that get those spinning back fist knockouts in the octagon. Would you consider that as of this point in your UFC career or your whole fight career, best knockout you ever got to score?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'd say that's nobody's ever done a counter spinning back fist where somebody threw a spinning back fist, and I've seen it in Muay Thai, pretty much the same scenario, but it's never happened in MMA that I know of, and definitely not in the UFC. So as far as spinning back fist knockouts, that's got to top the list.
Yeah, that thing was dope, dude. I'm like going, man, I wish I had permission to play clips. I'm working on that right now, so I can play fight clips of moments like that where I bring a fighter on and. But man, it's a process getting these UFC guys to give you fucking media footage, man. It sucks.
Got a super slow-mo of it on YouTube now. It's got a few views. I wish that I could put it on my account so that I could get those views. I know somebody's making money off of my highlights.
Right. I mean, you would think that, you have you've been doing a podcast for a while. You'd think that the UFC would give you access to your own fight footage to, air on your podcast. I mean, maybe you should reach out to somebody there and go, hey, man, I'm doing a podcast. Can I at least get footage from my fights to share with my viewers? I got a good crowd watching,
My Instagram was blocked after I shared that on there. So I could share it in a highlight reel, but when I shared the actual the ESPN highlights, they took down my Instagram. So I got to be careful with share.
Such bullshit, man. Fuck. Makes me mad. So, Peterson, or you're Peterson, or I get all confused sometimes. So Hooper, coming up, like I said, you're coming off the thing with the spinning back fist. You're fighting on a big card. Is this the biggest card that you've been part of as far as the hype of the main event?
I'd say so. This is a pay-per-view card, so I believe this will be my first pay-per-view. But I've been on the main card. I was main card on my pro debut or my UFC debut. I was the main card on the Mexico City. I think I was main card on a few fights in the UFC. But this one, I'll be on the undercard, but it's a bigger event. So I'm just happy to be part of the event, and I'm just happy that we have a full crowd in attendance. I couldn't imagine fighting with no crowd. It's like, this is what we fight for. I fight for the fans. I fight for my family and my legacy. But when I'm in there, I'm performing for the fans. I'm not just fighting for people on TV. That's eerie when it's quiet in the building. I want the energy of the fans to be involved in the fight as well.
Yeah, I was just looking at your record. I was going, yeah, you were not one of the guys that fought during the pandemic. You had two bouts scheduled. It looks like they both got canceled. One against Elon Cruz, and then one against Soing Woo Choi. I think those were the pandemic events that got canceled before they came back. It's weird. You said you want to fight in front of the fans. Man, there's a lot of fighters that have fought during the pandemic, either on Fight Island in front of nobody, or at the Apex, or even at that show in the first 3 shows they did in Jacksonville with no fans, where they said, "Man, I don't know if I need to go back to having fans in attendance. I can hear my coach. I'm more laser focused." And I get that. I mean, when you have the crowd drowning stuff out and all the hype and the hoopla from that, it can be distracting to some. Obviously not to you. You relish it. You want the crowd. You want their energy. But if it went back the other way, or like at the Apex, and you had to fight the Apex really with no crowd, because let a few people in. Your next fight, they book you at the Apex. You're cool with that. You take the fight regardless of the crowd or not. I'm guessing, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the fight business.
If I gotta say, I'm gonna choose a card with a crowd, but I'm not in the position where I get to pick and choose my fights at this point. So it's up to the boss. But I thrive in chaos. I thrive in the crowd, the just pandemonium of the event when it's all quiet and eerie. That's just not my environment. I'm just not. It's not ideal for me.
Yeah, me personally, if I'm a fighter, I think I would like to do it once. If I'm in the UFC, fight in one of the events at the Apex, or if they go to Fight Island and let's say they still can have fans, I'd like to do it once just to see what the difference is, how I feel, the difference of hearing my coach and the other guy's coach, as long as he speaks English, because if he speaks Portuguese, it doesn't matter. You can have nobody around. You're not going to know what the fuck he's saying unless you've got a translator in your corner going, and translating for you. I mean, that's not going to happen. But I think it's cool. I think it's, I'm so glad that they thought of doing it, because it kept so many fighters, on the positive side of the financial world. And honestly, I'm glad the UFC did what they did with all that, because we needed something as a distraction. And, the UFC led the way, and for all the sports to come back in some form or capacity. And the UFC was, doing it with big fans now. And Florida's doing big things because we're Florida, man. Everybody here is Florida, man. We don't give a fuck. We're going to live life, and we're going to, let our people be free. It's about time, So I'm glad you get to find that big car in Arizona with a huge crowd. The place is going to be bonkers, dude. And you haven't been in the octagon since 2019, so we're talking almost 2 full years. I mean, May, June, July, August, so 20 months. That's a long break.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm ready to get back in there, man. But honestly, I had surgery over the time. I got an injury that's been bothering me for about 8 years, fixed and completely better. So that's not going to be bothering me. I didn't tell anybody about it while it was injured, and it wasn't something that was, well known, but it was definitely hindering me in my fights. So it was something that, I knew I had to get it fixed eventually. And after that knockout, I planned on fighting Alon Cruz and getting that one out of the way and then getting it fixed. But throughout that camp, it had just gotten so bad that I wasn't able to sleep. I wasn't able to extend my arm. So it was something I had to get it fixed. And when I did get it fixed, it ended up being a little more extensive than we had planned. We planned on an orthoscopic surgery. And then when they went in there, they decided to do a ligament reconstruction. So ligament reconstruction, they're drilling in the bone and doing all kinds of crap. So that had put me out for much longer than I anticipated. And then, now that I'm on the back end, I'm glad that I got it done. I'm glad I got it out of the way. And, it's on the up from here. My downtime is done. I'm healthier than I've been throughout my whole career. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm coming into my prime. I'm 30 years old, and I feel great. I'm just ready to get back in there and, be consistent, get, another 2 fights after this one. I want 3 for this year, even though I'm getting started late this year. I want to knock out 3 fights this year, get on a nice win streak, and make a run for the top.
That's the way you should do it, man. Some guys talk about ring rust. Dominic Cruz, in my opinion, has the right thoughts on ring rust. It's only a state of mind, and it's basically a pre-planned excuse for when you don't perform at your highest level because you didn't train properly before fight night. I agree with him 100% on that. Now, I'm not a fighter, but I done athletic things over my whole life, and you have to be prepared. I played baseball when I was a kid. All through my life, I played football. And the one thing I always learned was if you go in underprepared, you're not going to be successful. So you got to go in. So if you're training for a fight, whether you're gone for 6 months, a year, 2 years, you have to be all in or you're basically all out. So what's your thoughts on ring rust? Do you agree with Dominic? Is it something that you even think about? Because he says it's not real. So what's your thoughts on it?
No, I definitely agree. As long as you train right and you spar right, you should be well prepared when you get in there. There's other factors such as the crowd and whatnot, but that's something that you just have to envision. You have to envision the crowd. You have to get used to that feeling when you step on that canvas in the octagon and everything's just it's eerie. It's like a deja vu, where it's forget the word, but it's just one of those feelings where you can't believe it's actually come because you've envisioned it so many times, and you're in there and it's like, whoa, it's right now. So I think it all comes, surreal. It's very surreal. And when you get in there, it comes down to being present-minded, not thinking about, oh crap, I haven't been here so long. Like, what's going to happen? And what's going to happen? You can't think about what's going to happen. You got to do what's going to happen. You got to be in the moment and take things as they come, and not think about the destination or think about when the fight's over. You got to think about right here, right now, and really not even think, just flow.
Yeah, and I think if you do that, you have success. I don't think I've ever heard anybody word it better when I've asked that question than the way you just laid it out for us. It's simple, it's easy. Training to be a fighter is not easy. Fighting is not an easy thing to do. But the mindset that you just laid out on how you have to be in the moment, you have to be present in the moment. What's going to happen? I got to make this shit happen, or it's not going to happen. I'm going to get my ass kicked. It's perfect, dude. It's right on point, dude. And that's why you're you're 30, like you said, you're coming into your prime. You've already had a career as a fighter. With the amount of fights that you've had as a pro, you've already had what many guys would consider a full career. The amount of fights you had, and it's like you're just getting started on this whole spot. Now I think this is your 6th or 7th fight coming up in the octagon.
Yeah, this will be my 6th fight in the octagon.
So you're just getting warmed up. And at 30, you are coming into not just your physical prime, but your mental prime. Exactly. And I can hear it in your voice by the way you're answering questions. Even from the last time we had you on the show a while back, it's almost like I'm talking to a different guy. Not a bad thing. It's a good thing because you've obviously grown, as a man and as a fighter. And, the guys that do that usually succeed. The guys that don't grow and they stay, here, they have a little bit of a career, but they never get to the goal. So, you're that guy that says to me, it's motivated. You are motivated. dedicated to making a run for UFC gold. And, I'm just glad we're going to get to witness it, dude. And, get you on the show a few times. Maybe when you get gold, boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the UFC champion, Steven Ocho Peterson. Thought I was going to go big. I went down slow because that's eerie. The eerie thing keeps popping in my head because you keep saying it's an eerie feeling. So I went with the eerie Peterson. You should tell Buffer to do that. And if he does, I'll be like, Buffer stole my shit.
Nah, I like the way he does it. He gets me pumped up.
No, he gets you hyped. He's good. He's good. I wish I had his job. I'm not going to lie, but he's good. I'm not trying to steal his job. I don't think I could do anything to steal his job except, maybe buy him out and say, Bruce, I'll give you $10 million, which I don't have. So I guess he ain't going anywhere, but that's all right, man. Coaches, team this time, everything's pretty much the same. Has anything changed during the time you've been away? Have you brought in any new coaches, experienced any new people in your training repertoire?
Man, I'm still training Fortis MMA. We have 18 fighters in the UFC now, so it's constantly growing. JP Bai is working on my wrestling. Got Uriah Hall working on my dancing and trying to give me some rhythm, so I'm not so stiff. Coach Safe is keeping me focused, and I've been really just focusing on my number one asset, which is this. It always has been, and even when I was a young kid out there brawling, my mind was my number one asset, but my mentality was much different. It was I was kill or die mentality, and now I'm just so focused. It's just kill, kill, kill. And it's very calculated. It's not just go out there and brawl and whatever's going to happen happens. It's I'm going to do this and he's going to do this. So I'm going to take him out. It's just everything's much more calculated, and I feel like I'm really coming into my own mentally.
So you just said you got 18 guys now in the UFC there. So does it become a little crowded when you have that many UFC caliber fighters, trying to get time with the coaches and get on the mats, and or is it more of a welcome addition where now you've got all these world-class guys to work with all day, even if one of the coaches ain't available, you got somebody that's just as good sitting right next to you on the gym mat, and you go, all right, man, you and me, let's go do this shit.
Exactly. A little bit of both. It gets crowded at times, especially with all the amateur guys coming up, but we push them to the other mat and have all the UFC fighters on one mat, and then the amateur guys on the other mat. I'm one of the coaches as well, but us as UFC fighters, we kind of lean on each other because we all have a lot of experience that we can share with each other. There's things that I'm good at that, Uriah or JP might not be so good at, and then there's things that they're good at that I could learn from them. So it's just about, being a team and putting that team effort in and being open to learning from each other.
Who's your favorite guy to roll around with there at the gym?
Oh, man. Shoot.
Actually, let me break that down again. Who's your favorite guy to roll with, do the groundwork with, and then who's your favorite guy to spar with? Because I'm guessing they're two different people.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite guy to spar with is probably Austin Lingo. He's a fucking banger. We go at it and we give each other a little bit of brain damage every now and then. But, we're learning to take some steam off the punches and be, more technical and kind of play tag because, we're in it for the longevity. But me and Lingo, we go head to head, and I love sparring with that dude. As far as the groundwork, I fucking hate going with Damon. He's like Damon Jackson. They call him the Leak for a reason. It's like, get the hell off me, man. So, I love and hate going with him, and he's my favorite and my least favorite at the same time.
That's fucking funny, dude. Like, I hate going with Damon, but he's my favorite,
Yeah.
But you know what? That just says how dedicated you are to doing what you're doing. You're like, man, I hate going to work with this guy, but he's the guy who's going to get me to where I'm going to go. So I'm just going to go fucking do it.
Exactly. Yeah. No choice.
You don't have a choice. Not if you want to be successful. You got to, I like that they have a lot of fighters there now, 18, like you said, that are world class because I hear guys, and I haven't heard of Fortis really, but I hear guys from different gyms all over the country and all over the world. They're the big fish in the pond. And when you're the big fish in the gym, you're not getting any better. If you're the man at that gym, you have to move. You have to move. or not completely move, but you have to go someplace that's going to give you some more stuff, because you'll never ascertain the level if you don't have anybody better than you beating your crap out of you, like you said, like Damon beating you up every day, you're not improving. And this game, what I've come to find out is, if you're not improving, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, you'll drop to the level of your training partners for sure.
Yeah, this sport is evolving so quickly. With guys like Chase Hooper coming in, and there's this kid I interviewed the other night, Austin Bashi, who's fighting at the XFC. He's a 2-0 pro. He's 19 years old, dude, and he's scary because he's been doing this since he was a little feller. Watching guys like you, come up, and other guys that are, been around longer than you. He's been watching this and doing this. So this next wave coming through of young kids that are 18, 19 years old that we're going to start seeing more of, it's crazy the difference. So guys like you who are 30 have to make sure that you're staying one step ahead. Your maturity, your experience is going to keep you ahead of these young guys, because young guys are, it's weird. It's almost, some of these young guys, I don't like to label, I don't like to be goofy, but some of these young guys coming through are like nerds, like, do you know what I mean? They're goofy, they're awkward, personality wise, because they grew up, behind the computer, playing video games, and, their life wasn't always outside playing with their friends. Mine, if I didn't get out of the house every day, my mom kicked my ass, what I'm saying? It wasn't sitting at a house and goofing off. And I had video games, even though, I was a kid in the 80s, we had Atari. So, fuck it, but I didn't get a lot of screen time back then. And it forced me to go out and be athletic and do things. But some of these kids are athletes as they got later in life. And then, but they're video gamers, they grew up behind it. So it's weird to see the difference. It's not like a guy like you who's 30 who's had a little more life experience away from the screen and the video games. And then these kids that are growing up on such an internet-based, lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But they're coming out and kicking some ass. And it's crazy that, they're doing it. So I like it, I'm also wondering what the ratings are going to be like, 10 years from now, when all these nerdy kids that don't know how to shit talk fucking are the champions, Hey, well, I'm going to be fighting this guy, and I hope I beat him. And that's what we're going to see. I need more personality that. So, I need the Mike Perrys of the world. I need the Conor McGregors of the world. I need what I need more of? I need more Darren Till.
More personality.
Darren Till is so fucking funny. One of my favorite guys. I love watching his any social media. I'm following him, dude, because he comes up with some banging funny gems. What about you, man? Do you buy into the shit talk thing? Like, I don't see you and Hooper getting into a shit talk thing, because Hooper's not that kid. And I think even if you tried to instigate it, I still don't think you'd get the response you were trying to elicit. So what about for you? Is it got to be based on per fight, because you just don't know, you don't have a plan to go out there and shit talk?
Yeah, no, it's got to be a person by person thing. And some guys, you can kind of get in their head and really get them out of their game. And other guys, it's best just to be silent and confident. And a kid like Chase Hooper, if I go out there talking shit, it's like, why would I talk shit to this kid? I'm already, 4 times more experienced than him. There's no reason to. I mean, this kid's already probably doubting this fight. I mean, I don't need to go scare him away. So I just want him to show up and step in the octagon. I don't need to talk shit to this kid and try and scare him off.
I don't think you could. He's, like I said, I've met him. And, when you see him from the surface, you would, if you saw him walking down the street, you'd never think this kid was a fighter. He's very, I don't want to, he's like wholesome. He's demure. Like he's real low key, he likes to hang out with this girl and, eat M&Ms. That's his thing, like we had him at a fight in in Alabama, and he's fighting first at Island Fights. And, like he was wanting to go to bed early and just go, go lay down, even though, we could have taken him out someplace with us, even though he's young, he could have come and hung out with the crew and stuff like that. He's like, he wasn't having it. It's not his lifestyle. So he's just like, he's just this kid that knows how to fight, and, he's digging the ride. And, I don't know if you could scare him away, and I'm sure you could be scary, but he's not the kid. Like if it was me, I'd be like terrified. I'd be like, man, this guy's talking way mad shit. Can I get out of this fight right now? I'm going to fake an injury. I'm going to do something to get out of here, man. It's not who I am, It's like,
right.
But
no, that's good. That's a good thing. But if somebody were to come out and disrespect me or my family or in any way, then I will gladly appease them in the shit talking game and beat them there as well. A lot of times it's good to get in guys' heads and kind of beat them before the fight. I've had some amateur fights and early on in my pro career where I won the fight at the stare down. But then once you get to the UFC, these guys have already gone through all that. They've already been there, done that. Unless you're a Conor McGregor and you're just real witty, I think he just kind of gets in guys' heads because they're not as quick with the responses. So, and that's just not my game. I'm not disrespectful. I will only, play that game if somebody else dives in that first.
That's the guy I think you are too. It's like, all right, if somebody comes out and starts talking shit to me, I'm not gonna let him talk shit to me without answering him back. If he says,
I might smack him upside the head if they say the wrong thing. Don't talk about my kid. Don't talk about my family.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'll put a mean mug on and we'll do the stare down. After that, we'll shake hands and it's all in good competition.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought the thing like to me off limits is family, children, and religion. Those things got to stay out of it. If you want to talk shit about my politics, that's all right, man. I don't give a fuck for my politics, whatever. We all got our opinion on that shit. If you want to talk about my fighting style, my fight game, my mustache, my hair, my lack of hair, whatever it is, if it's about me, come with it, man. And hopefully it's fun and witty. We can make, a little more hype about the fight.
Exactly.
But yeah, don't cross the line, So speaking of funny and witty and at weigh-ins, Tony Ferguson at the press conference, before the fight, when he was talking shit with Mike Chandler, and he said, he goes, "Yeah, you said no to me, blah 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 blah. You got that Dana White privilege." And Dana White busted out laughing. You don't see Dana White bust out that hard laughing very often. What did you think of that? Because to me, that line's gonna stick forever, dude. That was the funniest fucking thing I ever heard. What was your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, that was absolute gold, MMA gold. I thought Ferguson killed the press conference. He got the $75,000 bonuses. Hopefully they keep it like that for the pay-per-views. I mean, it would make sense. The pay-per-views, you do a higher bonus, and then on the fight nights, you do a $50,000 bonus. That would make sense. But so hopefully that becomes a thing. I know they can afford it, but I mean, we need more guys, more personalities like Ferguson to kind of take control of that mic when they have all eyes on them.
Yeah. I had an idea after that fight. I put up a post on my page talking about it. If they were willing to spend $75,000, so, they're doing 4 bonuses that night, $75,000, basically they're adding $100,000 to the bonus pot. So why not separate the bonuses and do $50,000 bonus availabilities for the main card? 25,000 bonuses for the prelim card. 25,000 bonuses for the prelim card. Because sometimes sometimes you do you get a guy at the beginning of the night, right? Let's say first fight of the night. You come out there and you have a crazy fucking, knockout, right? Knockout, bonus-worthy knockout. But as the fight night goes on, if somebody on the main card has a similar knockout, 9 out of 10 times the guy on the main card is getting that bonus check. And the prelim guy gets forgotten. So I think so. Take the 50, do 50 for main card, and put $25,000. Put 4 bonuses for the prelims, 4 bonuses on the main card. $50,000 on the main card, like you always do, and then you do the same bonuses, $25,000. 4 bonuses on the prelims. That way, everybody get a little extra cheddar, and it works. That way, if you were you're on the prelims, your fight 3. Let's say you have another glorious spinning back fist knockout early in the night, right? And then somebody else has a similar style knockout late in the night. They're probably going to get the money, even though you deserved it because that was the last imprint left in Dana's mind and the world's mind when he's picking bonuses. So I think, my way is good. It gives everybody a little more opportunity. And, 4 more people getting bonuses on fight night, I'm all about that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, fighters should get paid more across the board. And, what better than incentive pay with bonuses?
All right, so one more question off the topic of you. So the Paul brothers, Logan and Jake, fucking taking over the world, and like the Triller thing was a joke, but Jake Paul just signed a contract and is now a Showtime boxing property. which means we're not going to see more of the circus stupid bullshit. They're going to put him in there probably against some tomato cans to start out, but they're going to give him legitimate boxers now because Showtime and Showtime's boxing reputation cannot not do that. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on what this kid's doing? I mean, he's bringing more eyes to boxing than anybody except maybe Floyd.
Fuck
And his
that.
brother's fighting Floyd. I mean, fucking A, what the fuck?
Nah, fuck that. It's disrespectful to the sport. I'm not even gonna comment on that. It doesn't even deserve my time of day or the media coverage that it's getting. And the only way to stop this kind of circus show is to not give it any coverage.
Yeah, and this is the first time I even asked anybody about it. I asked you because I knew you were going to give the answer that we should have. With that being said, I will ask you one question. In spite of the fact that it's disrespectful to the sport, especially Showtime signing him right now, because they're only signing him because he's got popularity, he's got views, he'll bring people. I get that it's business. I don't think he's a good boxer at all. I think it's all bullshit. But what I do say, I can't hate the kid's hustle because he's done something pretty fucking incredible. So would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree that he's definitely changing up the game, but it's not for the better. So
no, I agree with you there. But I can't hate on the kid's hustle because he did something nobody thought he was going to be able to do. And,
more or less hate on the attention that he's getting and the people giving him attention. DC has no place stepping down to his level. Tyrone Woodley, even Ben Askren, he should have never taken that fight. He's done way too much with his career just to throw it all away for $500,000. I mean, what is money? Money is a fucking. It comes and goes. Respect, you can lose that really quick, and a lot of guys have lost my respect and respect of a lot of the fans and people around the world just by stooping down to that level. So, that's where my beef lies, is in the people allowing him to get away with this kind of, publicity stunts.
Yeah. And I, Dana White, I love Dana White's opinion, especially, he's going to call me and ask me. I don't give a fuck. Go do whatever the fuck you're doing. Good luck to you. Go fucking do your thing. Don't come after my fighters. I'm not letting anyone fight there ever again. The Ben Askren one, I was hoping he was going to be able to perform, just to represent MMA. But, I don't even know what to think of that whole fucking thing. I didn't watch it live. Somebody sent me the clip of the fight after, because I didn't talk about the fight coming up. I really tried to avoid it because I don't like you. I don't want to give it steam. And we've spent 5 minutes on steam here, not because I want to give it steam, but because I wanted to hear somebody else from the MMA community that I respected, that's in the UFC, that, knows what the fight game is supposed to be about. And I knew I was going to ask somebody the question. I didn't know who it was going to be. I picked you just random, and I'm glad it was you, because some people are buying into it way too much.
Yeah.
I'll fight Jake Paul. I'll fight Logan Paul. What?
No, I won't fight Jake Paul. So no, fuck that. He doesn't.
I don't care.
So fight, and he doesn't deserve. He doesn't even deserve me keep putting his name in my mouth. So
Well, we're done with him. So we're no longer going to talk about those two idiots. We're going to end this on a positive note, something good. What is your thoughts of the UFC? They're building. I don't know if it's started construction yet, but they're supposed to be building. Dana said they were going to do this when they started doing all the fights at the Apex. They're basically building the UFC hotel, and it's going to be a full-on complex. It's going to have some of the same setups as the Performance Institute, which is right there anyway. But they're going to set some of that up in there apparently, and they're really going to make this a home away from home for fighters. There will be fans, I'm sure, that are going to stay there as well. But I'm sure they're going to have limited access to certain things. But Dana was adamant. He goes, "I'm never going to be fucked over again." So what's your thoughts on him? I think he's going to try to build like the Fight Island facility out in the middle of Vegas. What's your thoughts on that? And how cool is it to have a boss that wants to do cool, crazy shit like that?
No, it's an absolutely genius idea. Why not take the profits in your own hands instead of funding the casinos? You got to stay at the Palms, you got to stay at the MGM, you got to stay here or there. And even if they're getting those comped, the fans are still, going to those hotels and those casinos. Why not open your own facility and kind of monopolize that industry. And that's exactly what he's doing. I think it's genius. And I think it's going to trickle right down to us fighters. It's going to give us more, commodities and more, more perks with the job.
Yeah, and do you think if you're a UFC champion, you should have a suite on standby at all times in the new hotel? That should be a perk.
Without a doubt. I mean, you should have your own private house out there. I mean, if I'm a UFC champ, I'm going to have some property in Vegas. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, are you into the whole cryptocurrency thing? Would you let the UFC pay you in Bitcoin, or are you, fuck that, I want cash?
I would definitely let the UFC pay me in Bitcoin, Dogecoin. I mean, depending on the time and how much is in the contract, because a few days ago it was worth worth 30. So it's all depending on timing. But I mean, right now is a good time to get some cryptocurrency because it's gonna go up. It's only a matter of time before it bounces back up. So I think that's incredible, and I think the fact that the UFC is a publicly traded company is another plus because we can potentially negotiate shares into our contracts. I haven't seen it done yet, but I know that's a possibility.
You could be the first.
Yeah, you get 1,000 shares of UFC stock, and with your new contract, that would be ideal.
Yeah, and then that's just continuing payday because the stock should only go up, and then maybe we'll get a split, and then it'll fucking double, and you're like,
yeah, exactly. I've already bought in a little bit of stock, but it would be nice to get some thrown in with a contract just for a signing bonus or something.
It was so funny the day they did the stock. I saw so many UFC fighters popping up on social media. Hey, I'm an owner now.
Yeah,
I'm booking this fight. But it was cool to see the fighters were buying in. I didn't buy any. I'm still afraid of cryptocurrency because I don't understand enough about it. I'm trying to learn about it now a little more before I try to put any money in. And I got to, I'm getting old, so I got to make sure I spend wisely. You're a little younger. You got a little more time to fuck around and take a few risks here and there. And, but the crypto thing is a little weird to me. I am going to, probably get a couple of shares of UFC stock, not so much to make a living or get rich off of, just to say I have it, like put the stock certificate on my wall, blah, 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 I have a piece. Yeah. I get a shareholders letter. Big deal. They don't fucking care about me, dude. Unless I buy like fucking $100 million worth of their stock.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like to fucking hit the lottery for like $700 million. They take out their money right up front. You walk away like 450. You take $100 million and buy into the UFC. Now you got a big chunk. Mm-hmm. And now, Dana gonna know your name.
Yeah, now you might call some shots, man.
Yeah. He makes, dude. People shit on Dana a lot. I've had my moments where I haven't liked something he did or done because it didn't affect the fighters positively, But without Dana White, this whole MMA world we're in today probably wouldn't exist at the level it does. He does some amazing things for fighters off the air and off camera that none of us ever find out about. But some of us find out about stuff from fighters. Like I know some stuff that I can never say publicly that fighters that have told me, that Dana has done for them. And, they've shown me these things that I'm like, that's pretty dope. And, helping out some of the fighters' families when they need something medically, and he never gets credit for it because he doesn't talk about it. He's not one of those people that's, he's not out there chasing clout for his, being a human being.
Yeah, he's a businessman, man. And you're not always going to be a good guy when you're a businessman, but he's a good businessman. And I think he's a good dude down at heart. He's just, he's cutthroat, and that's how business is.
Yep. I'm telling you that I want him to run for fucking vice president and have got my governor, Ron DeSantis, run for president, Dana White vice president.
There we go.
I'm supporting that fucking ticket because can you imagine White House press conferences Dana White's holding with the White House media group? Hey, Vice President White, tell us about the deal you guys made with the oil pipeline. It's none of your fucking business, man. What the fuck? I'll take care of the, or hey, are you going to do that? Well, I don't like to talk about it on this day, but we'll talk about this later. That would make my life. I'd be like, fuck it. I want the Jets to win the Super Bowl, but I'd be more impressed with Dana White as vice president, So, yeah. And that's probably closer to happening than the Jets ever winning the Super Bowl in my lifetime. So,
it's definitely if Donald Trump could become president, Dana White can do it too.
Yep, I'm digging it, dude. I'm digging it. Well, listen, man. Appreciate you taking the time right after training. You seem to be in like super great spirits mentally. You seem like like I said, a different guy than I talked to once before. Physically, you look to be in phenomenal shape. You had surgery, so everything's clicking. I wish you the best of luck with the young man Chase Hooper. May the best man win that night. I don't know who's going to win, but I'll put my prediction up on fight night. You'll see it because you guys pop up on the picture and you'll be like, "Oh, did Chris pick me? That motherfucker did pick me." Do you get wounded when you do interviews with guys? And like, let's say they're making their picks, and they don't pick you. Does that bother you? Do you take it personally, or you just go, "It's business"?
No, I just want to prove them wrong, and
Yeah.
And the guys that I prove wrong will never doubt me again.
Yeah. It's funny because I've had a few guys like message me after a fight and go, "I can't believe you didn't pick me, Chris." And some of them have lost. I'm like, I'm a smart ass, and I'll be like, "But dude, you lost. I was right."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Bro, man, that's fucked up." I said, "I'm not trying to be a dick, but sometimes I go with the gut. It's straight off the gut. I'm not looking at odds or styles. Sometimes I just go with my gut. And there's other times I look at the numbers and I try to analyze and really give it a breakdown. And like right now, you're the favorite all the way across the board, I believe, against Chase. I mean, to pull these up, I'm just going to tell you what the odds are, just for shits and giggles. But I was looking at them, and I was like, "Fucking homie's the fucking odds-on favorite all the way across."
People must have done their homework. I mean, you look at his record, and a lot of the Tapology people were picking me to lose, and I was like, okay, maybe my friends will make out on some good betting odds, but it looks like the odds makers did their homework, and
So right now when I'm looking at the opening odds were you were at minus 180 and he was at plus 155. Right now across four other platforms you're minus 145 and one minus 150, and he's plus 120 and 125 all the way across the board. So it's right there in front of people. Now some people are going to pick the young man because he is he's a tough kid. He's got skills. I don't even have to go through the whole thing. I'm going to based on what I've seen from you in fights, what I've seen from him up close personal in fights, and then when I look at the odds, the odds tell me exactly what my thought was already. Sometimes I don't have to look at the odds. Sometimes I just go, "Oh, gut." I went with my gut with Chandler the other night. My gut was wrong. Well, whatever.
That's the thing, is odds don't matter. Who you pick doesn't matter. Who he picks doesn't matter. What I think doesn't matter. All that matters is what I do when I'm in there and what he does when he's in there. So, the only people that can decide who's going to win it's me and him.
Yeah, nobody else, not the coaches. Well, no. The only other person that can decide who wins is a fucking judge that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, only if we let them know.
Only if we let them. There we go.
I ain't putting the judges.
That's the answer too, dude. Because there's too many fuck. You would think after all these years, and all the complaints about judges, that somebody would do something to fix it. Like get rid of some of the judges, like fucking Adelaide Bird, who fucking scored 30-27 against TJ Brown a couple of weeks. What the fuck?
The last thing I'm going to say is I got a perfect solution. They need to get rid of the 10-9 must system. They need to score it like a karate competition, like a jiu-jitsu competition, like a wrestling competition. Every time you get a takedown, that's 2 points. If you pass the guard, that's 3 points. If you mount him, that's 4 points. If you punch him in the face, that's a point. If you kick him in the head, that's 2 points, and just keep a tally of the scores. It's not that hard. If you could take statistics, then you could tally up the scores. It makes sense. Why are we on a 10 must system? That's too subjective. If it's a straight point-based system, then that's set in stone. Look, he scored. You can review the tape, and it doesn't need to be exact. It could be, more like 150 to 110. And, even if you have, a 5 or 10 point variable where you could, be off a little bit, it still shows who won. So, that's my opinion on that. And that's the way I think it should be.
I like that, dude. Nobody's ever said it to me broken down like that. That's interesting. So, now what you need to do in your spare time is you need to sit down with some buddies, and figure out how to, fucking do this. You don't even got to do it. You just wait till the fight's over and you can fucking pull up the fucking stats they already have and just look back and see if the numbers, that are the real stats match up with what you say as far as who you felt won the fight. But because I guess if they're already taking the numbers, then you take the judges out. You don't need the judges at that point because we're already counting the numbers with the camera.
Score takers instead of judges. Yeah.
Yeah, but the score takers are cameras because I'm guessing that's how they're capturing every shot and then they're having people tabulated. So yeah,
Right.
so they've already got part of the system in play.
Yep. Yeah, it just makes sense. I mean, why go with a corrupt boxing judging system when it's been corrupt since the start? It just doesn't make sense.
Dude, man, I'm even happier now that we had this conversation because what you just said is like clicking in my head right now. I'm like getting like all this.
They score it like that in wrestling. They score it like that in jiu-jitsu. They score it like that in karate. I've done Muay Thai competitions, like point competitions with my students where they're able to score every body kick, every head kick, every punch, every leg kick. It just makes sense to score it that way. If you score each and every martial arts on a point-based system, why would mixed martial arts be scored on a 10-must system?
Ladies and gentlemen, you've just been educated by Stephen Ocho Peterson. And it's such a simple thing, yet it seems like so hard for people to grasp. But it
does away with corruption, and that's the thing is they want that control. They want the control so they can, Vegas or whoever, whatever commission can sway things one way or another. Not to get too much into that, but I think that's what it comes down to is control.
Yeah, we seem to be going through a lot of people wanting control of our lives these days.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, listen,
that's
Mr.
why I'm glad God bless Texas and God bless Florida.
Yeah, you're in Texas. We're in Florida. We live. If we need to secede, we might have to. Maybe you and I team up. Florida and Texas team up. We'll become one big country.
Be the pony, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Colin, don't come down, boy, with that borderline, unless you're ready to have a good time. Otherwise, stay the fuck out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, listen, man, Mr. Peters, I'm going to call you that for the brilliant educational stuff you just taught us, man. I feel like I just talked to a teacher. So, Mr. Peterson, thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm glad to see you back. Excellent job at keeping the injury out of the public eye until you didn't want to, till you felt like it was okay to talk about. Some guys can't keep those injuries hidden. They talk about it. They want people to feel bad for them. You just wanted to get fixed low key, and because you weren't out there to make excuses, which gives me a lot more respect for you than I already had. Good luck with the fight, dude. You already know where the numbers are and everything. I already know you're supremely confident in what you're going to do. My wish for both you guys, win, lose, or draw, is that you both walk out of the octagon on your own power that night. Maybe little bruises. Just fight. Get bruised up a little bit. I wish concussion upon nobody. That was him. That was him, guys. That was him. I swear to God.
I'm going to be the one doing it. So
you enjoy the rest of your night, man. Like I said, go get some grub and some rest from your training, man. And we'll be looking forward to seeing your fight again. If there's any sponsor people you want to shout out before you go, drop them on them, and then give everybody your socials so they can follow you and your show.
I want to give a shout out to my sponsors. New Lifespan. Check it out. They got this new product called Myelin 6. I've been taking it for my focus. It's basically it unlocks your alpha mind state. So Myelin 6, you can go to ochomma.com, scroll down to the bottom, put in your email address, and we'll send you three free servings of that so you can try it out for yourself and see how it works. My other sponsors, give a shout out to CWL.law. Dank vodka. It's vodka made with terpenes instead of a bunch of sugar and fake shit. Dank vodka. It's absolutely amazing. Physically Fit Nutrition. They got these things called chicken snacks. I've been working with Kurt Angle, the man, and they're planning on having them in 7-Elevens and whatnot, but you can check them out at physicallyfit.com. Chandler Cabinets, another one of my sponsors. Hutchins Barbecue, and one more. Limitless Sport Picks. If you're into betting, check out Limitless Sport Picks on Instagram, and they'll point you in the right direction. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at 8ocho08. Appreciate the time.
Be well, brother, man. Stay blessed, and we'll talk again soon, man. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Night.
Boys and girls, that was Stephen Ocho Peterson, man. Fucking chatted with him before, man. And, when I said that I was talking to somebody that, different guy, it's the same guy, of course. But there's a difference in him, man. Listen to him speak now and remember our conversation back then. Wow, so evolved, so grown. And physically, he's in the best shape of his life. He's coming into his fighting prime. It's going to be a tough fight with him and Chase Hooper. On the early pick right now, I'm definitely going to pick. Somebody's going to get mad if I hope Chase doesn't get upset that I don't pick him. But I think Peterson's got this. But it's a fight. We're going to see what happens on fight night. So, but thanks to both my guests, Stephen Ocho Peterson and Downtown TJ Brown, for coming on earlier tonight, man. On Cage Star Christopher James. We will see you guys next Thursday. Although I might do a fight recap show from the event this weekend. So we'll see. But anyway, if not, I'll see you guys next Thursday. I'll be putting out a guest list shortly. Check out my website, mymmashow.com. Make sure you go out there and, read some of the stuff I write. Appreciate it. Share stuff with your friends and all that good stuff. Help me get this thing rolling, baby. I'm getting old, man. I'm running out of time. Let's go. Hook it up. Anyway, thanks as always, guys, for allowing me to be a part of your lives today and for you guys being a part of mine, even if it's only for a short few hours. I appreciate that more than I can ever put into words. It's absolutely a blessing. So thank you for that. And until next time, boys and girls, I am Christopher James. Y'all been Cage Side. Good night, everybody.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Go with the deuces. There you go, baby.